Welcome to the Six Fix Podcast. I'm your host, Digit Murphy, coming to you today from Toronto. And I am with one of our classic defenders, Sarah Steele from PEI. And she's awesome. And she's been with us this whole year. She's playing in all facets of the game. She's great. We love having her. Sarah Steele, SS, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so talking off air before with some of our producers, we were talking a little bit about you're from PEI, right? And we probably have a lot of listeners now because you're on the team. And talk a little about your journey back in PEI SS.
Yeah, so I feel like not a lot of female players come out of PEI, so I'm probably one of a few that has made it to, I guess, like such an elite level. So yeah, like it's been pretty amazing. I feel like I've been kind of representing a lot of females that come from out east. So yeah, it's been a really humbling experience coming from such a small town and getting to represent them on such a large stage.
Right. And your journey, did you play boys growing up or talk a little bit about how you got started?
Yeah, so back when I was younger, female hockey was just kind of like up and coming. I guess it still is in the in the mode of becoming something. But I feel like there's probably maybe three players from my minor hockey association that were really standout players. Myself being one. So we all played boys hockey, AAA growing up together. So we were one of a few female players that had the opportunity to play high level boys hockey, and then I obviously made the transition to female hockey at the age of, I think it was 12, just because of the hitting. It was a bit too aggressive for me. And then I ended up actually having to leave PEI at the age of 15 just because I wanted to seek out more competitive opportunities.
And where did you end up going after when you were 15? Where'd you go from there?
I actually went to Appleby College, so it's in Oakville,
Mm-hmm.
Ontario. So I really have been away from PEI since the age of 15. So I guess it's been 10 years now that I really haven't been back there.
Yeah, it's funny. Didn't Curlew go to Appleton? Yeah,
Appleby, yeah. That's
Appleby.
actually,
Sorry.
yeah, that's how I actually met Amy was at Appleby College. I think I was a senior in my grade 12 year, and then she was just coming in for her freshman year in grade 10. So
And for those listeners who don't know, Amy Curlew is on our team as well. She's a rookie. She came in this year, so we have Appleby alumni. So Appleby, go Appleby. So you went to Appleby, and then you got recruited to go to one of the top schools in Hockey East, Boston University. So talk a little bit about that and your coaches there because they're some of my favorites. So why don't you talk a little bit about BU because that's a cool place. And my daughter went to BU.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, so I feel like I got recruited not so much through Appleby, but I was also playing on Mississauga Junior Chiefs. I think a few of our players are actually like alumni from that team as well. Like I'm pretty sure Bucky played there.
Lucky, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like I was playing a lot of hockey through high school, and I think that really gave me the opportunity to get recruited by like high level scouts, I guess you could say. The funny story was, is that I was actually committed to go to Yale, my grade 12 year.
No way.
Yeah, but what ended up happening was, my math mark in my SAT wasn't high enough to get in. Yeah, so math has always been like something I've kind of struggled with.
Yeah.
But yeah, like obviously it turned out for the best, and I have no regrets going to BU. I had an amazing 4 years there. We won a few Hockey East championships. Got to play with some really high level players like Mary Philippe Poulin and Victoria
Mhm.
Bach and all those players, and I definitely made some amazing friendships that I'm always gonna have like throughout my entire life. So yeah, I'm really grateful to have attended BU.
Amazing, amazing. And I'm thinking back to the years that you were there, and you guys had some dynamite teams. And your coach, you play for Lash? Did you play for Lash there, Lash
Yeah,
Appel?
she was my D coach, so we
The
had a
best.
pretty intimate relationship, I guess you could say.
Yeah, she was awesome. So Katie LaChapelle is now the head coach at Holy Cross. She moved into that position, what, 3 or 4 years ago. So you've been out, what, 4 years, and you played overseas. You want to talk a little bit about that journey there, SS?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2017. And like as I was graduating, I wasn't really sure what career path I kind of wanted to head down. Um, Being in school, I always knew I wanted an opportunity to travel and see the world. I feel like to a certain extent, I was restricted in my hockey for not being able to
Mm.
kind of go travel and things like that. So I was fortunate enough to get a contract from a team in Vienna, Austria, and I went my first year and played there. And I loved it so much that I ended up staying in Europe for 3 years. So I actually moved to Neuchâtel, Switzerland, the year after, which was a French speaking like village, I guess you could say. And I billeted with a French family and had to speak French the whole time. So I wouldn't
That's
necessarily
cool.
say, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like fluent, but I definitely understand French, and I really like kind of had to get out of my comfort zone and have to speak French all the time. So that was a really cool experience. And then I headed back into the same league I had played in my first year, and played for a Budapest team in Hungary.
Wow, you've
And
been
I
all
think,
over Europe, man.
yeah, yeah, our coach Lisa Haley is now coaching Team Hungary, and it's the funny thing is I actually had an opportunity to represent Team Hungary at like a Six Nations
No
tournament while
way.
I was there, which was kind of funny because like I don't have citizenship, but for some reason I was able to join in and play in that Six Nations tournament. So
They made an exception for you because you were kind of European. You've been there the whole time. Wow. Fascinating, kind of country jumping and opportunities that hockey has created. And I think people undervalue. I mean, granted, you did do your BU experience as a job, right? Because when you go D1, like you are going nowhere in the summers, right? You're like
mhm.
freaking training. You're not getting internships, which again, I get a problem with, but we can go there later. But after college, I think people think, oh, hockey's not going to take me anywhere. But now you've got the European experience, you got the Toronto Six. Like, would you be someone that advocates for that, or would you be like, yeah, it was great, but I mean, do you have to be like adventurous to do that, or can anyone do that? That's good.
Yeah, I feel like you have to kind of possess a certain level of like independence, which I
Mm,
think was instilled in me at a young age, especially having left home when I was 15. So I was
right.
kind of comfortable going abroad. Like I didn't really know anyone on my teams like when I went over there, and kind of didn't really know what I was walking into, but I feel like that's kind of been a scenario that I've dealt with a lot in my hockey career. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of used to it. I think, yeah, I guess just being comfortable, being immersed in new experiences. Like last spring when I was in Budapest, I had like a week off, and I decided to go on a solo like travel trip and went to Istanbul and Jerusalem all by myself. And
Whoa.
yeah, like I did a lot of traveling when I was over there, but yeah, I really enjoyed that trip just because like I felt like I kind of reached that point in my life where like I'm comfortable traveling alone and doing all these things. And yeah, like it's been definitely a really rewarding experience, just like getting out of my comfort zone in that aspect.
And and sports does teach that, right? Because in order to get you out of your comfort zone, in order for you to go to Appleby, right, you had a team. You went over to Europe. You had a team, so at least you got there. You got jump started, and now you can travel by yourself. So it's kind of cool the transition you make growing up and growing as a person using hockey as that platform.
Yeah, and I think that's really what like holds me in hockey is that you really find that like um just like being a part of a team, just that whole atmosphere and the friendships that you make, it's really hard to let go. And I think that's been one thing that's really like helped me through different like moments of my life is just you can always like fall back on your teammates and you always have that support. So I feel like people who aren't athletes don't necessarily always experience that. So yeah, it's definitely something that I've always valued as a hockey player.
Yeah, and I mean, and hockey culture too in the locker room. You can't even put a
Hmm.
price on that. But I think a lot of people that don't play sports can't relate to it, and I think they're like, why do these people play sports? Why are they so attracted to it? And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the social piece. Like for example, like right now, how great is it during COVID that you get to have an outlet, right, with the T6?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think that's like one of the defining features of our team is just how close knit we are and how much of a close group we are and yeah, especially through these times of like adversity with COVID, I think that's like the key piece in our success.
Yeah. So talk a little bit more about the T6. Let's go down memory lane and when Digit Murphy called you. Like talk about what that was like and you're like, what's a crazy lady doing calling me? Like what's going on with this?
Yeah, so like I had returned to Canada and wasn't necessarily I didn't know if I was going to play hockey this year. I didn't know if there was going to be an opportunity to play professionally. So I feel like things kind of came together quickly. And like I said, most of the time when I join a new team, I'm not really sure what to expect. But when Digit called me, I definitely appreciated the mission and everything she made the team out to be. So I was really excited to join the team and I guess contribute to the cause.
Yeah, that's really, how we did it, right? And I think that's the magic of the six. It's yes, it's about hockey, but it's also about the mission and the community-based initiative basically. And it's a women's community, it's opportunity-based, it's a Toronto community, it's education, inclusion and empowerment. And when you start to wrap women's sports in that package, I think it becomes a different conversation. Um, so now we start playing, and we're practicing outside. Like, I mean, how crazy was that? Like in October.
Yeah, I think like we were the only team in the NWHL that couldn't practice as a full team. So, yeah, for a couple months there, we had like 10 players on each ice session. So, like, there was a point where I was wondering, like, am I ever going to meet the rest of my teammates? But yeah, like, I think that really speaks to like, uh, how we've handled adversity. Like, we were dealt that hand from the beginning. So, to walk into the tournament. And I know like our motto was flex and flow. So like that was really one of the defining things about our group was like we took whatever we were dealt with and we made the best of it.
Yeah, and I think you guys were sick of me hearing, "Yeah, flex and flow, Mike Chang." Whatever I was like making up something because, you know, that's how I think life is, right? It's all about how you adjust to situations. And I think what happens with a lot of people in general is they get so rigid, right? It's like, this is how it's
Mhm.
going to be. I got to eat this certain food. If I don't eat this certain food, like, or I don't wear these socks, like, we're going to lose the game. It's like, come on, people. Like, let's just be real. Let's just be ourselves and let's figure it out. And it just took off with this group. And what a group, like dance parties, tiny hands, like come on, like you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really appreciated all the dancing and stuff.
I know. Now now we're gonna head over to the new bubble in Boston. Top seed. NBC. What does it mean to you now to be on a national stage, in pro hockey?
Yeah, like after the bubble, I guess, came like crashing down, you could say.
Popped.
All of us kind of went our separate ways, and we weren't actually sure when the season would resume. Like I went back to PEI, and wasn't really planning on like playing so quickly after that. But then obviously I got the call to come back, and that was really exciting. And I know we're back into things and getting prepared, and yeah, like we're really excited to go to the tournament. It's next week. I can't believe it's come up so fast. Yeah, I think we were on a roll at the end of
I
the
know.
Lake Placid bubble, and we're ready to continue that.
Yeah, and like what do you like, what are the some of the comparisons now that you've played on all these teams? Like how do you like the new franchise approach that the T6 is about? You didn't get to play in our new locker room, but the way you're treated.
Yeah, like especially having been in Europe, which I was in professional leagues, I couldn't believe just like how we were treated on every level, like from just having trainers and like professional medical support from like a chiropractor and team doctor, to just the caliber of coaching that we received from you, Spiros, and Lisa. It was just incredible. Like, there's so many things that impressed me. When we were playing at the tournament, we had access to all of our stats. So we were able to like really analyze our game. That wasn't even something I really had access to in college. So yeah, I think you can really see the strides that we've made in women's hockey just by having access to all these amazing resources. And I know that's
Yeah.
something everyone on the team appreciates.
Yeah, and we're just trying to get better every day and build a sustainable sports model, and it's not easy, right? You need investors like the JoJos and the Miles and the Johns of the world where they're actually putting millions of dollars into our success. And I think what goes unsaid is the business piece of hockey, and I think everyone gets spoiled because they're in NCAA. And those are universities, and you guys are protected by Title IX. So they can't just give you
Mm-hmm.
nothing, right? They have to give you something. So now, when you transition over to the real world in a business model, in a capitalistic economy, now you got to sell tickets in order to get that $1 million put in. And these people are doing it, I believe, and they believe, on a long term kind of goal to make it work. So you must feel really special because they're really investing in you.
Yeah, like you said, in college, you're kind of handed everything. But having been like abroad, I really am humbled by the amount of just resources and things we've been given. And then just to see the things that go on beyond behind the scenes, like it's truly humbling. And yeah, I'm just very grateful for everything. So
Oh, you Canadians, you're grateful for everything. And then the Americans are like, give us more, give us more, give us more. No, just kidding. It's been a pleasure being up in Canada for me. It's really opened my eyes. The way you guys treat COVID, the people in general are just so nice and respectful. Not that we're not in the U.S., but we went through a tough 4 years, and there was some crazy things going on. But we don't want to get too political here. So, so Sarah, where do you have like Twitter? Can people follow you, or you don't do that stuff? I don't know.
yeah, I'm a bit of a reserved person on social media, but I guess I do have Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's Sarah Steele 4.
You're pretty sure
Yeah,
you
I
don't
guess
go
if you
wrong.
if you want to follow me, I'm on there. So
Yeah. Well, well, that's great. Anything you want to add before we wrap it up? And any shout outs to PEI people and everyone over there?
yeah, I guess just if my family and friends are listening, thanks for supporting me on this journey, and I hope that anyone else who's listening is supporting the T6 as we head into the Isabel Cup finals. So
Yeah, baby. Well, thanks, SS. And who could not love this kid? This kid is humble. She's grateful. Like, come on. All the T6 kids are like this. Watch us, follow us. We are at the Toronto 6. I think on Insta we're at the Toronto dot 6, but everywhere else, Twitter,
okay.
Facebook, it's all at the Toronto 6. So, and of course, me at Digit Murphy. Everyone knows how to find me. I'm the only one in the world. Thank God. Well, that's it. Sarah, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right. Well, that's it. Digit Murphy for the Six Fix podcast for Sarah Steele. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.